Mine says I'm still recording. Oh, that's the new recording. Okay.
I just started again.
Yes.
I'm hitting the button.
Do it.
Hitting my button.
The let Brian in button. Where'd he go?
The let Brian
Hit the
in.
button.
I'm here.
Maybe he just left.
Can you hear
He
me?
got sick of us.
I hear you guys.
My button went away.
Ryan!
I can hear you.
I mean, I would have given up on us a while ago.
I can hear you.
Did you let him know?
Yeah, I've been texting him the whole time.
Oh, okay. Free webinars.
I
Yay,
can
don't
see and
get
hear
much
you
free
guys.
time.
He can hear us. We better stop bad-mouthing him. Where the hell is he?
He can hear us?
He can
Mine
hear
says
us,
90.
That's really
but he cannot
spooky.
see us.
Oh.
He's hiding in the walls.
He's in the void, he says.
He's in the void.
Uh-oh. Every time he comes
When
on,
you
there's
see
some
us.
sort of
Constant
IT
internet.
problem.
He.
It's too bad we don't know anybody who can fix that.
If only we
Right.
knew an IT guy.
Well, he's a former IT guy now.
Oh well. He's
Yeah,
retired.
it's true.
He made sure I knew that. You know, here's a new concept we could try on the Flying Midwest podcast. We have BrYan Turner in apparently this room. We can't see him, we can't hear him, but he's texting me. So maybe we'll just ask the questions and he can text the response.
Defeats the idea of call-in extravaganza. I guess texting works fine.
I'm gonna log
Here's
out
the
and log
response
back
now.
in.
Hi, everybody. Good to be here.
Thanks, Brian. Good to have you. Kind of.
Well, if you have his... Could you just call him and put him on
He's gonna log back
speakerphone and
out,
hold it
back
up to
in,
the
and try this
mic?
again.
Maybe is it because we're recording? No.
I don't think so. 'Cause he
maybe.
popped up in here before. Let me hit stop.
Hi! Oh my god, he went into the void and came out a dog!
This... What was the name of that comic dog that Conan O'Brien had on for a while? Because that's what your dog looks like. The one who had a cigar and insulted everybody.
For me to poop on.
Yeah, that's the guy. What the hell was his name, though?
Something the insult comic dog. What was it?
Yep.
Triumph.
Yep, that was it. That's,
Hi, buddy.
ladies and gentlemen, Triumph. Turner, the insult comic YouTuber. I don't know.
What's going on, guys?
What up?
Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm doing good. I just got in bed because I've had a rough day. No, I'm.
That was probably one of the more comical things we've dealt with you. I mean, it seems like every time you're on with us, there's some kind of just comedy gold that we can take out of it.
Glad to be comic relief.
Sorry, paper.
So, how you been?
Loaded crap.
Uh-oh.
I'm well. How specifically? I've been a lot of ways. My life is real complicated right now.
Oh, maybe I regret asking that question then.
So I'm no longer an IT guy. I quit working when my company went out of business. So
Yeah.
I started flying like an absolute maniac. I'm literally going to take the ATP written this week, and I'm like trying to wrap up 1,500 hours. And my plane broke in 9 different ways this week. So I'm grounded, and I'm like trying to get, one, I want to get it fixed so I can get hours, but 2, like Oshkosh is just around the corner. And I'm like,
Yes, it is.
I'm running out of money as I replace things, and I'm trying not to use our savings, but like I'm also not bringing in money. So it's a complicated space to be in when I'm counting down to just buying a commercial ticket to Oshkosh.
Yeah.
So I've been underneath my plane for probably 10 hours a day for the last 2 days and driving all over creation, trying to get parts for it to get stuff fixed. I am absolutely beat down. And then these people were like super late to have me on their podcast, which just like
That's just the icing on the cake. Just couldn't get any worse.
ever since you brought on this Badger guy, you guys just can't do anything on time anymore.
It's the Wisconsin internet.
It's he's really brought things down.
Yeah, but so I'm
Obviously.
looking forward to getting to Oshkosh so I can rest.
Said nobody ever. But I guess in your case, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Also, When are you taking the test? Because I need to give myself a deadline. And
did you take the ATP CPT?
I did. I'm currently
What'd you think
studying.
of that class? And be honest.
If I had been with
You want me to be honest
anybody
first?
except for 2 other employees, because I'm an employee, so if it was just like regular people, I probably would have died of boredom. But it was fun.
I enjoyed The Sims. My impression is that it's a money grab and it's a waste of time.
Yeah, literally the instructor was like, and this does not reflect the view of my company at all.
Well done.
Disclaimer. He's just like, yeah, this is not going to be very entertaining. I'm sorry in advance. And I'm like,
I did it on my own, so it's a direct reflection of my choices in life. But like, I would start taking notes, and the instructor in the class was like, "Don't take notes. You're not going to be tested on any of this." And I'm like, "Why did I pay $5,000 for this? Like, do I walk away with no new skill set, no new rating? Like, and then so like you pay all that money so that you now have permission to go sign up and take the written. So now I'm doing the Shepherd thing
that you have to pay for. Yeah,
yeah, and it's Shepherd. I have strong opinions about Shepherd. I like that I was watching their videos like 97 times. This isn't rote memorization. This isn't rote memorization. And then the cheat sheet, it's like, don't bother yourself with learning the formulas. That can lead to human error. Just remember, if you see 177.2, choose that. I was like,
however, not.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just have to beat the FAA at their own game.
But what I understand is the FAA. Okay. You know this ATP. This whole thing exists because of the Colgan crash. Do you think those pilots would have had any trouble passing that course?
No. Literally, we studied We went over the Colgan course crash, as I'm sure you did. Nothing.
Yep.
It's like, okay, you should have had like a stall spin awareness course, upset prevention and recovery course.
This is
literally anything else.
I had to review the course, and I was like, this was defensive driving. You're required to be in class for 30 hours, in the Sims for 10. No one's judging you on. It's just like, and I don't care. I get it. But I'm like, it was really expensive for me not to walk away with any new talents.
Yeah.
So, but whatever.
Yeah, I got to. What did you end up flying? Or in the box?
Oh, well, that's it. It was a different sim every day. So, like the first day, it was an A320. Oh yeah, A320, Boeing 737, and an Embraer 145. So it was like
I would have lost my mind.
On day 2, I was like, okay. They're like, no, not on this plane. This one's different. Let the computer do it. Or whatever. It was just like, I'm like, okay, this is a go.
I would have cried.
It was like paying $5,000 to get to play with cool video games, and I'm like, and then I was like, it's not even like here, try out these different planes and figure out which one you like. I'm like, whoever hires me, I'm gonna fly what they, It is. Is this public? Will people hear this?
Whatever you don't want them to hear, they won't hear.
I don't care. I honestly, I stand by my opinion. Like, if I'm the FAA, I'd kind of like to be like, is this really what's happening? Like, a lot of nothing. And if I was the airlines, I'd stop paying for it too. But that's why I took it, because I'm interested in Envoy. I got some friends at Envoy, and Envoy, like, they came out like 3 weeks ago and said we're not paying for it anymore. And so I was like, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh well.
I was lucky enough for my company to pay for it, but now I'm like, oh crap, I have to still take the written. And in the beginning, he's like, yeah, just so you know, this is not a prep course. This will not prepare you for the written. Good luck.
Or anything.
And I said, oh no.
I've got two more of the Shepherd lessons to do, and it's just laziness at this point. Like I'm getting a new dryer or something tomorrow, so I've got to be home all day. So I'm just going to study and then go take the written on Wednesday.
Yeah, if I didn't have to work, but yeah, I even went and bought. I was like, oh my gosh, there's too many sources. I bought the Aerodynamics for Naval Aviators because they kept referencing it, and this one does have better photos than the online version because it's from 1965.
I bought books too. I got this like advanced. What is this one called?
Oh yeah, an advanced aerodynamics for.
I thought for sure you had a coloring book.
It does look like one, doesn't it?
It's blank on the inside. There's a centerfold. Yeah, I bought a bunch of books too because once they started talking about the swept wing, like that's the thing is they would talk about mock tuck and this and that, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll do a deep dive. And like, no, there's no deep dives.
No.
So we're just moving on to the next thing.
The instrument stuff, what killed me is like they went over some stuff and I'm like, I already have a little bit of experience in jets. They're leaving me behind. Oh no. And then they go and talk about things like new concepts, like mock tuck, and I'm like, oh, new things? No? Okay. And then they go over like basic instrument stuff. It's like, I teach this to my instrument students. Why are we talking about this?
So I was nervous in the Sims because I'm not as instrument proficient as I need to be. And I was like, I never like walk in with an apology because my Sim partner did. He's like, just so everyone knows, I don't have a lot. And I was like, I'm glad he said it. And they're like, no, we're going to do everything for you. You just follow along. And I was like, Okay, like I thought I was going to be slowing them down because I couldn't fly a, I don't know what can I fly, but I don't know, like something basic, but I don't know. Anyway, it's done. Great, but I thought it was going to be something different than it was, especially for that's how much my instrument cost. That's how much my commercial cost. And I walked away with new skills, but
you got permission to take the written. Congrats.
In my review, I put, if you put me in a jet right now, I couldn't start it. But I could stop it on an icy runway. So if a pilot dies and it's snowing in Sheboygan, I can be like, look at it.
Honestly. Sorry for completely derailing that.
Yeah, way to go.
Well, good luck. If you have any questions, Ryan, about any of the weird jet stuff, I got you. I mean, you can absolutely read for free, and you don't have to talk to me, but a couple of things if you want. I don't know.
So is this the flight of transition stuff, or is this Oshkosh? Because I don't know why I'm here. I just started bitching about ATPC something or other.
Well, we're supposed to be talking about Oshkosh, but
hey. I may be flying commercial, so maybe it ties in.
So let's talk about Oshkosh.
When you were in the sim, I just have to ask, how many lazy eights and chandelles did you do in the sim?
We didn't do jack in the sim. All we did was practice not stalling. Like, it's like, here's the stick shaker. I did the stick shaker 700 times and recover. And it's like, okay, we did one thing, and after we did it, it wasn't even a big deal. The guy, my sim partner, was like, hey, he goes, I want to try to slip this thing. And so he came in really high and really steep. And the guy in the back, the sim instructor, was like, well, if you're going to do something, so he iced over the runway. And so, we were like winging down, but we were coming in, and he's trying to fly like a Cessna. And so it's, like, it didn't even do the 50, 40, 30 thing. It just said, pull up, pull up, pull up. And, when that thing hit it, like, it hit really hard, and it jarred us so much that we didn't even realize that it had bounced back up in the air and it was going to hit a second time. And I was filming. The guy was cool filming it. And he just leaned over my shoulder and he goes, "This does not go on the internet." But that was the only thing we did that was kind of like out of. I wanted to do a lot of stuff, but I was like trying to be as serious as possible because I wanted to learn.
Whoa, wait! When did you start being serious?
When
I lost my job and my wife's like, "I can only do this for so long."
Okay, fine.
Find something that brings in money. Because there's a clock ticking, and at some point there's going to be discussions about selling the airplane if I don't set it on fire first.
Hey, thanks for the confession about the pending arson of your aircraft.
It'd be so easy. I'm not going to do it. No one should do it, but just to land gear up and be like, sell it to the insurance company. But I'm not going to do it. But I had that thought when I was like on $3,000 the other day, shoving money into the stupid thing.
Oh boy.
Well, let's talk about Osh.
What? What's that? Are we doing that?
For real.
All right. So you're going to Oshkosh, I presume.
Yeah.
Mostly because I saw on your channel that you're going to Oshkosh and you're going to be at some events. So.
But that channel's satire. You never know what I'm going to do. I might go to Sun next week instead of Oshkosh. Have my own.
That'll show them.
That's right. I'll be out there just doing my own like low passes.
So making announcements to yourself.
Oh yeah.
How many years is this now for you?
I'm 47. Oh, the Oshkosh.
Oh, for Oshkosh. Oh man, you're impossible.
It's 7 or 8. There's one I went one year. I think I've been going since 2016, and I think one I missed because I was like, okay, I've seen it. I don't need to go back. And that was like the most FOMO of my life when I'm like, I get on social media, like, why am I not there? And then the COVID stuff. So I think this is number 7.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. This will be the 7th NOTAM on my wall. So this is 7.
7th
okay.
NOTAM.
So I cut up the NOTAM every year, frame it, and hang it on my little wall.
That's
gotcha.
Awesome.
So you've flown in every year though. So this year could be not great for your streak. Sorry.
Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about it. Like I want to fly in. I was telling someone, I was like, I don't feel like doing that Fisk approach again. And they were like, well, don't. You can still fly in. And I was like, well, I guess that's true. I could fly to Appleton or something. I really like having a plane out there just because I always have stuff.
Oh, sure.
I need to go get something out of the plane. I need to go get something out of the plane. So I walk over and get it. and I don't have to carry my backpack around everywhere I go with all the stuff in it. But if I commercial in or something, then I'll be all right. Dean from Flying Eyes called me and said I can use his tent to store anything I need on. So I'll be okay either way. I actually make commercial in now. I forgot about that.
Well, good.
Sweet.
At least yeah. At least you have a way in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, just making a quick note.
Click clack.
Clickety clack. This is the loudest keyboard on the face of the planet.
It is.
And I put it right next to my microphone to annoy Maddie.
Super smart.
So, of all those years, do you have any like big highlights? Like, what is your favorite moment of Oshkosh?
None of them are like relatable Oshkosh moments. The coolest thing was like my friend. I was like, "Hey, I have a friend who lives in Chicago," and he's like, "I'll take you to the beer coffin," and I'm sure you know about it or I've talked to you about it. But
we talked about the beer coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was
the
that
first
back
time
last year?
I think it came back last year. He was sick one year and then it went away for a year. And the first time he's like, we're just going to go through these woods. And then there's this dude dressed as a monk who opens a coffin full of beer. And you're just like, what is this? That was just a cool thing that stood out to me. I'm trying to think of like memorable things. Like I have little things I like to do. Like to me, I don't like. Answer me this, Maddie. Is Friar Tuck's food really that good, or do I just love it because the only place it exists is Oshkosh? My wife's like, you rave about this place, but it's not that good. And I remember sitting there going, you know what? It's not.
Remember.
But I'm still. As soon as my feet touch the grounds at Oshkosh, that's where I'm going to go to Friar Tuck's, have a Reuben sandwich and a cold beer. That's like. And I'm going to pretend I love it. But so every year that's like a little ritual. The first thing I do, I'm trying to think, not riding the tri-motor is real big for me. Every year I either try or I buy a ticket or the plane breaks or they schedule it somehow that I miss it. Because it's really important every year that I plan that and then don't get to do it. I like the same stuff everyone likes. I don't think there's anything that just stands out. I mean, a lot of it for me is bumping in. Like Maddie, I think meeting you was really cool. You had lunch, lunch or dinner at Friar Tuck's with friends. That was cool.
Yeah, it was dinner. We were there for like 4 hours. It was awesome. I knew one person.
That you were there with the Rubik's Cube kid, right?
The Rubik's Cube kid. I don't remember. See, that's why I don't remember the food at all. I just remember like being there with the Rubik's Cube kid, and you being generally very nice.
I try. But so last year before last, landing on the green dot for the first time ever. No joke. By the time I got home, it was already on canvas in the mail. The photo of that. Because I've tried. I mean, you try every year, and usually it's like embarrassing, or they send you around, or something happens. And of course, I'm always filming. But last year, I had that camera on the year before last on that green dot with my buddy Eric, and like. We weren't even paying attention to the usher people because we were so busy patting ourselves on the back about our awesome landing. There were like 600 other people trying to, that was funny. I was like, we need to pay attention. And then, the first time you ever go see something like a night air show sticks with you like that. The first time you see it, like, oh my God, that's just, I didn't know that was a thing. But then most just meeting people, visiting with people and seeing people. There's a lot of people. That's the only time I see them. Mm-hmm. And then to bring the room down a bit, we had a friend pass away a year before last, and so I went out there and found they made a little stone in his honor on the walkway and went over and visited with that. That was tough, but
I think that talks too about just the community that Airventure is. That in the midst of all this aviation stuff, you still have time to go and honor a friend or someone that you know through aviation.
Well, that's how I knew him. So he was this guy named was Glenn Towler. He lived in New Zealand. Great guy, and he was like a big Oshkosh dude. He would come from New Zealand every year and be at Oshkosh. And I was at a function with a aviation forum, and this guy comes over and he's got this real interesting raspy voice, and he starts talking to me. And then he ended up signing up for my Patreon, and so he and I were corresponding a lot. And I'd see him at Oshkosh. And then one day he said, he posted on Facebook. He's like, I've got COVID. And then a couple weeks later, he's like, well, it's worse. I've got cancer. And then one day he just posted, I'm done. And that was the last we ever heard from him. It's like, whoa. And I'm messaging him like, dude, what's going on? What's going on? And he was already gone. But his mom had passed away. Like he was trying to get back home or where she was at for her funeral. And then I think he passed away before he got all that done. It was a rough deal, but total surprise. But he was like, I'll try to find the stone, but he was real big in aviation. A lot of people knew him, and he was the heart of Airventure type of thing. So it was they did a good job with that stone.
I think Oshkosh is inherently emotional because you're here long enough and you have those moments where it's like you meet somebody and then they pass or something happens and it's sad, but it just is.
Great transition, Maddie.
Huh?
Great transition, Maddie.
What's what I was supposed to do?
No, for real. That works. That covers I don't know where to go.
Oh, sorry. I tried.
Picking back onto what Maddie said, I'm just sad. Keeping it down.
Me too, BrYan. Me too.
What days are you guys going to be there?
Monday. No, I'm sorry. Sunday through Thursday. I think for me and Maddie and Badger,
okay.
we don't care.
And how are you all getting there?
I'm going to take this. So it's not like a vintage, but it's a 2016 Ford Escape. So.
Ooh, okay. So you park that in home built.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm driving in my vintage 2011 Ford F-150 with my dad.
Ooh. Well, mine, I think I could park in ultralights, but we'll see.
Careful, you better strap it down good when slash crash happens. Otherwise it'll just be it'll go away.
Yeah, those Ford Escapes are known for that, so.
Yeah, they escape.
That's what they call
them. What do you guys have on your agenda?
Well, the first thing is there's this thing on Monday at 2:30 that we're probably going to try to go to. I think it's a meet and greet of some fashion.
Don't go to that. Those freaking people with their big heads and they celebrate themselves.
Hey, I'm looking forward to meeting Dan Milliken, so it'll be fine.
Oh, you not met Dan? He's a great guy.
I don't even think I've met Dan, actually.
I was actually going to be looking for Josh Flowers. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or not, but kind of a big deal.
A lot of people confuse me for him because we're both so handsome and so talented.
I don't know that anybody's ever said that, BrYan.
No, Dan's a good dude. Here's the deal. At Oshkosh, you won't get to meet Dan, the guy. Like, you'll get to meet Dan, the worker with an agenda who's trying to film 2,700 episodes of 4 different shows. Like, and I'm like, every time I get so pissed at him because I'm like, Dan, I was like, add a day to the beginning or the end and just stop. Like, his people were like cockroaches. They all run around in their shirts with their cameras, and I just see them just going everywhere getting stuff, and Dan's all sweating, wiping his crap, and I'm like, dude, have fun. Like, have fun. And he's like, I got too much to do. And I'm like, dude, like, so you'll meet him, but you're going to meet business Dan. You're not going to meet fun Dan. I'm going to tell him that. I'm going to tell him, Dan, people want to meet you and they don't want to meet business Dan.
Well, in business Dan's defense, I think I did the same thing to Maddie last year. So,
yeah. Well, and I mean, I'm doing the same thing. I'm filling up my calendar with things to do and stuff like that. But my wife's going to be there, so she keeps it where it's like, if it gets to be too much, she's like, hey. And I'm like, okay, you're right. Let's go to the seaplane base, So.
Oh, I thought that was just an excuse to not talk to us last year. When you said, "Oh, well, Aaron said we got to do this." So.
Yeah, right. If going to the seaplane base means we got to get away from these people. No, it's I love bumping into people and running into people, but what happens is, so I've got 3 or 4 things that are kind of set in stone, and then what happens, and I don't know how to feel about this, or I don't know how. My Instagram inbound message box just starts filling up with people going, hey, what are you doing? Where are you going to be? And I'm like, it's too hard to coordinate 35 individual. Like, so I'm just like, I'll be lingering around Flying Eyes or whatever, but I can't make 30 meetings with individual people. I don't know what the answer is, but so I'm like, I feel bad because I'm like not responding to everybody because they're like, hey, what days are you going to be there? How can we get together? I'm like, I'm usually at SOS Brothers probably 2 nights out of the week. They can come to the YouTube thing, but my wife would get really annoyed if I'm like, oh, we've got to go talk to Bill in the North 40, and we got to. So I'm trying to figure out like how not to be like avoiding people like on social media, but at the same time just like hyper aware that my wife is with me, and she has just a limited window of 1, listening to pilots talk about pilot stuff in general, but 2, pilot stops going, oh, you're funny or what? Like, she's like, I get it, but.
It is
And
hard.
I don't want to do anything that makes anyone feel like a third wheel, especially someone I live with.
When I live with.
Yeah, but if she moves out.
It would be because of Airventure? Is that where you're going with that? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, funny. So since we talked about it, do you want to do any plugging of this meet and greet, or do we want people to not show up? It's up to you.
Do we want to what? My dogs are at the fire truck or something. Can you guys hear that?
The dogs, yes. The fire truck, no.
Now my daughter's shouting at them to shut up.
We hear that.
Congratulations, Brooke. You made the podcast.
Yes. My 13-year-old was on it last week, so.
Nice.
Not on purpose, so.
Oh.
I was giving her grief about a stupid oversized sweatshirt she likes to wear and how I thought it was stupid. And so in our bloopers, you can hear her go, "It's not stupid," like a 13-year-old girl would. So. And then I left it. Anyway, any more plugging of the meet and greet that you want to do, or do you want us to say more about that, or are we good there?
So I think they're fun. Every year it grows a little bit bigger and more people show up. Last year it was too big. I think there was so many people on stage, and so there's I know there was some limits this year on who could be up there, just because like it really was way too many people. I always volunteer. I told Dan, I was like, I'll just sit in the audience and just make funny faces. But he's like, no, you can be up there. It's fun. A lot of people engage and ask questions, and it's not just like flying questions and stuff. It's pretty interesting, I think. And then afterwards, that's kind of a good opportunity to get to meet people. So, I've not been on the other side of the fence, but the crowd this is the third one, and it's probably doubled in size every year. So it seems to be something people enjoy.
Yeah, that was a good crowd last year.
It was, and they were trying to get it in the theater in the woods this year because I didn't organize it. It's not my event. I'm not bragging about crowd size here. There's some people that's important too, but I'd heard it was one of the bigger crowd draws at Oshkosh last year. But so my point is, for me, it's just a big blur because I'm like, I don't like talking in front of people, but I think people do seem to enjoy it. So I say go. And you'll meet a lot of people. I mean, like Flight Chops is going to be there, and like name somebody. I mean, it's the big people, which is kind of cool. I'm sure. Like I forget who else. It's all on that poster that's going around.
We'll post that somewhere for people to take a look at if they choose to, or if they should wish to go meet some of their favorite YouTubers and BrYan Turner.
Accurate.
Oh, I'm sorry. I love busting your chops, man.
No, it's fine. I'm such a
good sport about it.
At one point, Dan leans over and he goes, "Are we picking on you too much?" And I was like, "No, this is why I'm here." Self-deprecating humor is my favorite type, and if other people want to deprecate, if that's do it. Like, no, I don't mind at all. I think it's if someone can get a laugh at my expense, do it.
If you had one tip to give a first-time Osh goer, what would it be?
It's a loaded question. If they're flying in, bring a friend. If it's their first time, be the friend. If you're doing that Fisk approach on Sunday, I've done it solo 3 times, and all 3 times I've landed and been like, Turner, that was really stupid. Like, bring a friend, bring someone to help you with that. It's not a joke. It's intense, and I think a lot of people want to do that Sunday approach. I tend to do it. The last 3 times I've done it with someone in the right seat, and it is significantly easier when someone's like, okay, I've got the guy, I've got him. You watch that guy, and you're coordinating and stuff, so nothing surprises you. If you're not flying in, it's just general Oshkosh tips. If you've never seen it before, I think everyone needs to stay through a Wednesday night or a Saturday night and see that nighttime air show. It's just unbelievable. If you're youthful or youthful at heart, I think everyone owes it to themselves to hit SOS one night. The bands out there are incredible. They're so good. You think it's just a bar full of, girls in bikinis, beer bong, whatever. The bands are really, really good out there. And so it's loud. Your ears are going to ring, but it's a very social event. Even if you're solo, you can go out there and make friends. Like, people out there are great. So, don't overdo it at SOS. It gets late at night. It gets a little rowdy, but SOS is cool. The night air show is cool. And then make sure you dress for winter, fall, summer, and spring. You're going to want to wear rain boots. You're going to want to have Crocs. You're going to want sandals. You're going to want cowboy boots. You're going to just be prepared for any kind of weather, because I've been there when it's freezing cold. I've been there when it's hot. I've been there through tornadoes. I've been there it's you never know what you're going to get. Yeah. But take a deep breath, stop, move slow, look around, and soak it all in. there's and the other piece of advice I'll give you. You asked for one tip, and we're on number 9. Go to the EAA Airventure website and go to the agenda. It'll show you everything that's happening every hour of the day, and go start putting things that you want on your itinerary and print it out and walk around with that piece of paper and go, okay, it's 2:30. I just look at my piece of paper and go, these 3 things are going on. Am I interested in one? And go to it. So it's kind of nice to just, and they've got an app that does it too, but I guess most people will use the app. I just carry the paper around and go, oh, it's 2. Martin Polly's giving a talk. I want to go see him or something like that. So otherwise you get lost in the sauce. I think having an itinerary is very helpful because otherwise you just wander aimlessly looking at, airplane. And then suddenly the week's over.
And then you turn around and then there's another airplane, and you can just keep doing that for days.
The first time I went to Oshkosh, I never did anything. I just walked around the North 40 and Vintage and Home Built and Experiment, just looking at planes and talking to people about their velocities and whatever. And I was like, I didn't see an air show. I didn't see anything. Just like, I didn't know anybody. And I was like, just looking at planes and talking to people. And then I was like, there's this other stuff that goes on there, right, Brian? I was like what? And so someone directed me to that itinerary, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I ended up meeting a lot of interesting people. I'd go to people's talks and then visit with them afterwards. So it's I really like their itinerary part of their website, but it's on the app too. I should download the app.
You should download
it. It is on the app. But in fairness, I also created an itinerary based off of just looking at the website. What's happening? Brian transformed into a dog.
Oh, just dog number 2 showed up. Did you know you dog number 2? She thinks she's dog number 1.
My dog can probably sense that your dog's on the screen because my dog is barking now.
That's wild. Your dog just smelled my dog through the phone.
My dog is actually looking, and I have earbuds in.
Yep, you just set mine off.
Yeah.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've seen today.
Yep.
Well, you've played this game with us before in a less serious fashion, but we're going to try one more that's a real one this time with the Pilot Quarters Sectional Showdown for you. Oshkosh edition.
I'm nervous. You're going to ask me real flying questions?
It's a real flying question. We're going to test all that big brain knowledge you have.
Yeah, and so ATPCPT. Yep. So last time you were here, we tried to give you home field advantage and give you a Texas one. You've flown the Fisk Arrival a handful of times, so you should be familiar with
the Frisk Arrival.
The Frisk Arrival.
That's a whole different process. That happens at SOS Brothers at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, Fisk Arrival, just to the east of Rush Lake. There's a UC, and so being that you've flown this Arrival a couple times, probably have flown it or held at Rush Lake before. What does the UC mean?
I don't know. I don't know what's sadder, the fact that I don't know or that I can't come up with anything. UC, okay, so this is a Oshkosh. I mean, it's not Oshkosh specific. It's on the sectional all year round.
Correct.
Uncoordinated. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Oh, whoa, hold on. Did something just get cut off? Sometimes that happens and it's a part of a word. Did it say Fond du Lac or something?
No.
That happens on sectionals on digital things all the time. I was like, what is this thing? And they're like, oh, it's an error. What does UC stand for? I don't know.
You'll have to find out. You'll have to wait and listen. So we're going to make you wait and listen.
All right, I'm going to ask this question because I don't know one. This obviously is going to get cut. But
hold on, my phone's ringing. Alexa, what does UC stand for?
What does it really stand for?
It's a tower that's under construction.
Oh. Okay.
According to Alexa, it stands for microcontroller.
That's what it is.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
That's totally what it is. All right. What do you think, guys? Anything else? Or Brian, do you have anything else you want to cover with us?
I have a question about how, and again, it's more about you guys than me, but so how are you guys doing podcasts and content gathering and stuff out there on site?
Last year was a bit of a whirlwind. We got a ton of stuff. And this year, we dialed back a little bit on the interviews we have scheduled, but I still imagine we're going to bring in quite a bit of content. I think we've got 4 or so tentatives right now that we're still trying to lock in. So.
And how do you guys handle recording and doing interviews and stuff out there, like on the go?
We did a couple different things last year. We did. Sometimes I would use 2 different devices. I'd record with my iPhone for audio, and I'd also record with like a Zoom recorder that I had. But also for a couple of them, we set up a GoPro to record the interviews too. So there's a couple that we turn into videos, and I came to a newfound respect for what you do, because editing video is a lot more work than audio.
Yeah.
Just the cutting and splicing and the transitions and stuff like that. But no, so we kind of combine those different concepts to put that all together into a finished product, and then I just put it into a program and edit away.
Are you friends with, I can't think of his name, the Pilot to Pilot podcast guy?
Justin Seams. I've talked to him.
You might reach. So he does a podcast, and last year EAA Radio let him use their booth, and so he said. So we went over there, and I'm like, that was the best my voice has ever said. It's like high quality equipment, and so like we both of us were surprised. I think it may have been the first interview he did. He's like, oh my god, we sound good. We couldn't quit talking. I don't know how he got permission to use it or what the deal is, or if podcasters can go in there, but
I have inquired. I'm waiting to hear back. So.
Okay, on my end, as the person being interviewed, it was a very cool experience. One, it was hot outside. It was nice to get out of the heat. And they had bottled water and all that kind of stuff. But and then just like, wow, man, this sounds great. Anyway, just wanted if you guys hadn't reached out, it was a fun experience for me.
Awesome.
Anything to get that air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think we will work towards wrapping up then. Does that work for you guys?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Brian, thanks so much for joining us. Once again, you're always a pleasure to have on, and you crack me up, dude. So thanks for coming on, and we look forward to seeing you out at OSH.
All right, thanks for having me, you guys. Let's meet up when we get out there.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
We sure will.
Sounds good.
See you at OSH.
All right, Brian.
All right,
see ya.
see you later.
Thanks, Brian.
Bye.